my actions necessarily that is causing the separation. It's not their actions necessarily that are causing the separation. It's the indoctrination that has successfully separated the information that we are getting, thus causing the divide. So there are so many awake people out there that aren't connected with the QAnon phenomenon, and you must be in order to really understand what's going on here, to really grasp what's going on, and to grasp what's been revealed by Q through questions, through answers, through connecting back and forth with the Anons, and it really is a very, very special thing. Now, I had a bit of some news this week that was very disturbing. Some friends that, just don't see what I'm seeing and don't vibe with what I'm, vibing. And, they're just, staying away, and probably for good. And it makes me sad, because it's not my actions necessarily that is causing the separation. It's not their actions necessarily that are causing the separation. It's the indoctrination that has successfully separated the information that we are getting, thus causing the divide. And that makes me sad, because there is no doubt in my mind that we are shattering the indoctrination. And yet, we are continually being bombarded with the mainstream media. Somebody asked on the Zoom call today, it's like once, this purium, it gets glyphosate out of your system. It's been, tested third party that in 6 weeks you can get 75% of the glyphosate poison that comes from wheat, comes from basically Roundup that Monsanto uses and puts in our food to keep the bugs off, but it poisons us, and it poisons our gut health and causes major problems in the body. And somebody said, once we get it out, will it stay out? And it's like, well, here's the thing. If you keep eating things with the glyphosate in them, non-organic food, and even some organics, I found out that my Orgain protein powder, has glyphosate in it, like at a ridiculous level, and it's organic. And so it's like crazy. So we got to continually get that out of our system. Just like we have to continually shatter the indoctrination and get the indoctrination out of our system. Get this brainwashing, this MK Ultra, high level, highly technical, highly brilliant indoctrination out of our way, out of our being. Because what's important to understand is that this is there to divide us, because they understand the art of war. Sun Tzu, divide so that you can conquer. Because together we are so strong, so strong. It's unbelievable. Somebody just said, oh yeah, Linda, I'm so sorry, Dave. I believe we all have those friends and family like that. It lays so heavy on my heart too. And hey, thank you, Pete. I appreciate it. If those hugs are from me, I'll take them, and I appreciate it. And yeah, and I know a lot of you feel like this. I know a lot of you have this. And this is why I wanted to create this community, because we can come here and, even though Pete is crazy, people aren't going to call him crazy, okay, for what he believes in, because we know that he's doing his homework. We know that he's digging in and looking at stuff and sharing information that he's finding, and we're all doing the same. And so Yeah, and Elaine, same here. Sometimes you have to take a stand regardless of the collateral loss. And it's tragic, isn't it? Right? It's tragic. But that's a part of it, right? I mean, when I think about the people in my life that I am no longer close to, am no longer hanging out with, it makes me sad. But the joy that I get from my connection with you all, and we're not that huge yet. I'm still able to really connect, and I'm always going to be connecting with you, especially my Snedhead OGs, man. Are you kidding me? Had some folks on today on the Zoom call that listened to me 8 months to 2 weeks. That was the stretch, and they're all on board. They're like hooked. They're like, yes, let's more truth, please, more truth. Like, let's keep this going, and being able to connect with each other, right? So with every door closes, another door opens, yeah? And in my case, and I think with you all as well, for every door, excuse me, that we feel, Mary, yes, David, I've lost family and friends who were totally indoctrinated, yeah. For every door that closes on a family member, or a friend, or an acquaintance, or a coworker, or a coach, or a whatever, a teacher, what have you. For every door that closes, I don't know about you, but I'm finding that multiple doors open. And not just multiple doors that open, but multiple doors that open with a huge welcome mat, without condition. Without conditions about what you're going to say, when you're going to say, and how you're going to say it. And not name calling and not judging. That's why I don't care where you come from, what color, what shape, what ethnicity. You are welcome here. Thank you, Kara. Bless you. This is the best show ever, Dave. You are welcome here. And just know that we are all experiencing this with people in our lives that we really care about, and that we feel like we're losing or have already lost. And I will say this: as difficult as that is, and my heart breaks. As difficult as this is, what we're experiencing. Thank you, Rainbow. Appreciate that. What's even more difficult is living within a false paradigm. Living within a false world. And we watch a movie like The Matrix, and Neo makes the choice to go with the red pill and literally live in a ship, a dirty, grungy ship wearing dirty, grungy clothes. That reality, and saying goodbye to all of his friends, all his connections, his work, his job, everything. The reality, the dirty, grungy reality that he steps into, that he chooses to live in, as the Matrix is a metaphor for what we're talking about. It's far better than any 2-car garage, 4-bedroom home, boat, friends, barbecues. It's far better than that. Because the more people that come and join us in this dark, grungy reality, the brighter it becomes. And the more we create our world with those who are not just like-minded. See, this is the thing. We're not looking for people because they support Trump. That's not the criteria to get in this door. We're not looking for people that just want to talk about how the banks have enslaved humanity since 1913 and many cultures even before that. We're not just looking for anti-vaxxers because they've done the research and they found out that the things that the doctors, the things that the scientists, the things that pharmaceutical companies are putting into our child have really, really bad things inside them. Toxic elements that do not belong in the human body. We're not just looking for people that are holistic minded because they've done the research and they found that Western medicine is absolutely inadequate for a full host spectrum of abnormalities and ill health. We're not looking for just those people. It just so happens that that's who shows up because we have a welcome mat out to use your mind, to ask questions, to check your coat and step forward as if, folks, I don't know everything. But because one day, 14 years ago, I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, I don't know anything the way I thought I did. I don't know anything in the way it was taught to me. It was wrong. And I started to find out the things that were taught to me that were wrong, and the people that taught them to me were either of ill intention, meaning the mass media, Hollywood, right, newspapers, politicians, banks, pharmaceutical companies, etc., big agriculture, the list goes on. So they were either ill-intentioned out of the greed for their own power and their own financial gain, or they were indoctrinated by those people, ill-intentioned, and had fallen into the mind control and the indoctrination of those groups. And so they thought that they were teaching me something that was true. And so you start to peel back these layers of this onion and you find truth. And it makes you cry. Just like a peeled onion. You cry because you realize how long you've lived a lie. But the tears are not permanent. The tears are temporary. Because when you start living truth, when you start demanding more from those who are around you from a standpoint of real conversation, not, yeah, it's a nice day, yes, it's a nice day, yeah, how's the weather, how's the kids, da 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 da. Not the surface stuff, but digging deep and saying, let's talk about this stuff. 2,000 children go missing every single day. And I talk about that. And somebody's going to unfriend me because of the way I talk about that? Because I'm angry about that? Because I'm upset at the fact that people aren't talking about that? those that would choose to demonize me for exposing the actual demons are gone from my life, one by one, by their own choosing. And then eventually, I'm making that choice. And I've made that choice many times, and I've not looked back, and I've stepped through multiple other doors with beautiful, human, awake souls that love their family, love each other, love their Creator, and love truth and want more of it, and will not settle for the same old that has perpetually enslaved humanity since the beginning of time by those who grabbed power first. Those who grab power first are not the ones that should hold on to it. They're not the ones that are most deserving, folks. They're the ones who grabbed it first and held on to it for dear life. What we are witnessing, as you know, is far, far more important than an election. It's far, far more important than Donald John Trump. What we are experiencing right now is the decimation of a system and a group of people that have enslaved humanity for their own benefit. There is no other way to say that more clearly. That is the indoctrination. And they need to do it across the board. Vaccination nation, incarceration nation, medication nation, taxation nation. Across the board, folks. They must, education nation, the indoctrination of the media. They must chip away at us. They must drip, drip, drip us with this constant, relentless mind control until we are walking around wearing masks for a virus that is completely curable, completely capable of our bodies to defend ourselves against it. And we have allowed them to take our civil liberties, our human rights away from us. And I'm glad for that. Why? Because when you allow the enemy to carry out actions based on their intentions, and you know those actions to be false, fraudulent, it exposes those who think they're getting over on you. It exposes those who think that they are going to get away with the denying humans their God-given rights. That's what we're fighting for. And we are up against a foe that is losing and doing everything in their power to convince the world that you and I are silly, uneducated, brainwashed conspiracy theorists. They project what they are upon us and get the world to buy into it. But here's the problem. The world is waking up. The world is waking up unlike any time in human history. More people are awake. And when I say awake, I'm not talking about fake woke. I'm not talking about woke society. I'm not talking about social justice warriors. I'm not talking about, BLMers and all that. Like, you have to be for BLM or else you're a racist. No, that's a construct. Anybody who knows me, that really knows me, I could sit here and I could talk for 5 minutes and there's nothing I could say that would make them think for 1 second that I was racist. And I'm talking about people of color, brown, black, yellow, whatever. I don't think yellow is a proper color for Asians, but I know that they use it as well, but the Asian population. But folks, there's nothing I could say. I could misstep and say something racial or a racial joke. It doesn't make me racist. My history, my life history of being in the trenches and treating another man or another woman like a brother or a sister, regardless of color and oftentimes with color, that determines who I am. Not somebody creating a construct of a club that I choose to have nothing to do with. And then I'm a racist. Or they choose a construct around a person like Donald Trump who I support and then call me a racist. You see, it's really, really too simple to have any credibility whatsoever. No credibility whatsoever. And yet that's where we find ourselves. There are more people awake to the reality of the indoctrination today, November 28th, 2020, than ever before in the history of this planet. And every day that there is a clear delineation between the insane and the sane, another one comes on board. Come on board. You're welcome here. All we ask is you check your coat and open your mind and open your heart to possibilities that you have not previously examined closely. And the chips will lie where they may, and we will move on. And all of those who left us, all of those who mocked us, all of those who chose people they didn't even know, that are paid millions of dollars to put on a suit, to put on a tie, to put on a skirt, makeup, lights, camera, action, teleprompted script, given to them by those who write their check and support their check. We are being traded for those people by the people that don't see through the thin, hollow facade of the propaganda media. And one day, it will all be exposed. And they will feel ashamed for their actions. We shall take the high road. We can be frustrated. We can be angry. We can be sad. But we are right. And we know it. And truth will be revealed one day, and we will be validated for our minds and our hearts. A big hug to all of you out there who are dealing with this, that have lost friends, have lost family. And I hope it's temporary. And I believe it will be. Welcome, everybody. I've got your... I don't know what I'm going to talk about, honestly. And that just came to me today. And so... I find that I'm best when I'm speaking from something that is weighing heavy on me, and I'm glad that I have you all to be able to share things with and get feedback from.